full of adventure, connected by hundreds of cultures and beliefs, fueled by the curiosity of young minds, and shaped by leaders brave enough to explore new ways of thinking and living. People who creatively solve problems and continuously reinvent themselves. We gather from around the world to live and study together. Our community forges friendships that last a lifetime and make the entire world feel like home. This is a place where motivation meets opportunity. Opportunity to live and study among different cultures of Europe, America, Asia, and beyond. Where curious minds learn how to solve problems creatively. Where we learn how to become a professional for a lifetime. A professional who is able to shift and adapt to the ever-changing reality of tomorrow. We are LCC, a North American university in the heart of Europe, full of opportunities and adventure, a place to start. Take a brave step into the world. Join LCC International University.
Hello and welcome to LCC International University. My name is Sofia Detkina and I am a first-year IRD student from Kazakhstan.
Hello everybody, my name is Suliko, I come from Georgia, and thank you for joining our online open day today.
Today, we are virtually opening our doors to you, hoping to give you a real experience of what it is like to study at LCC International University.
We are very happy that you decided to join our event today, and we would like you to we would like to get to know you a bit more.
On your screen, you should now be able to see a QR code that can allow you to join our online questions and answers via the Slido app.
So you can join us through Slido, QR code, or type in YouTube comment section. Please let us know where you come from and why you decided to join our event today.
We are going to give you about a few minutes to write some answers and tell us where you are from. But right now, we'd like to tell you that we have over 65 different countries in our university, and we're hoping that you come from many more countries. So please text us on the Slido app where exactly you're from and why do you want to choose LCC?
Also, keep the questions flowing. If you have any questions about the application processes, about the university itself, you can keep typing them in Slido or the YouTube comment section, and we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of this event, where we will address all your questions. We also have some friends from our student financial offices as well as admissions offices, and keep the questions flowing. So, as you already probably know, LCC is an international university that is located in Lithuania, and Lithuania is a very small Baltic country. And if you haven't visited Lithuania before, we have actually prepared a short video for you to see what it's like and familiarize yourself with it. So, yeah.
Tired of being just a viewer? In Lithuania, you can be the star of your own movie, no matter the genre. From enchanting fantasy to adventure, all filled with twists and turns. From dreamy romance to the goofiest comedies, from daredevil pirate adventures to thrilling mystery. And for those with a taste for rebellion, Art House. So come play the leading role in Lithuania, a country that just doesn't fit into the screen.
We are already looking at our Slido, and we're seeing that we have some people from Lithuania, somebody from Ukraine, hello.
And we also have friends joining from Latvia as well, our neighboring country. Hello.
Yeah. You know, Suliko, I would have never considered that I would call Lithuania my second home.
That's so true. Yes, I think home is not about the place, but about the people that make you feel home. And Lithuania is definitely a place for that, place full of people who are so friendly. And I agree, we also have tons of great people at LCC. There are, as you mentioned, more than 65 countries represented at our university. And it's super amazing. They're super friendly. We're a very diverse community.
And without a doubt, one of the coolest people at our university and a part of our community is the president of LCC International University, Dr. Marlene Wall.
Yes, and we all have one of our biggest traditions, which I find quite awesome, is visiting Marlene's house in our first year of studies. And we would also like you to meet her.
Welcome to LCC International University. My name is Marlene Wall, and I'm the president here at LCC. And it is my huge privilege to welcome you to this session together where we can talk about who we are as LCC, and you can figure out whether perhaps this might be the university for you. One of the questions that people will often ask me is, where are you from? My answer is a little bit crazy, but my answer actually matters at LCC. I was born in Montevideo, Uruguay, in South America. I am a Canadian citizen. I have always only been a Canadian citizen. All of my high school years were in Asunción, Paraguay, in South America. All of my university education was in the United States, and now I'm in my 21st year at LCC in Lithuania. But I want to say that I feel very much at home at LCC because, in fact, LCC as an international university has people from so many different parts of the world, and we are here together as learners. This year we have students from 65 countries, and each one of those countries, each one of those students matter to us here at LCC. We would love to have you join this community as another student from wherever you are from to add to the richness of this community. We also talk about the fact that we are a North American style university. What we mean by the North American style is not that we now teach something North American, but it's the way that we set up the environment for learning. So for example, in a classroom, the professors and the students are often in conversation with each other. This is not a university where the professor does all the talking and the students take all the notes and then spit them back to the professor. In our model of education, it's very relational, very engaging, and that matters. Another part of that North American style is that we are a residential campus. What we love is when our students are actually living together on campus and learning from each other in ways that are much broader than just in the classroom. We are a liberal arts university. A liberal arts university is uniquely positioned, I believe, to prepare students and graduates not just for their first job after they graduate, but maybe even for their fifth job after they graduate. And maybe that fifth job doesn't even exist yet. Maybe that job is in the future. But what a student gets and gains from a liberal arts university is an ability to connect information, an ability to be a critical thinker, an ability to be a lifelong learner. So what I sometimes say is that LCC graduates leave as T-shaped graduates. And what I mean by this is they have the long, narrow, vertical line, which is their discipline-specific knowledge in any of the areas that we offer. But in addition to that, we believe that you leave here with a crossbar, which is actually what makes you truly unique and employable. That crossbar is interpersonal communication, the ability to speak publicly, intercultural competence. But it's that that actually makes you truly a uniquely employable graduate. At LCC, we are a Christian university. This identity as a Christian university gives us the foundation of why we value people, why we value ethical principles. We have a community of respect, and so we claim that those values come from our Christian identity as a university, and it's an important piece of who we are. We welcome students from all backgrounds, and so we would be thrilled for you to consider LCC as a university for your future.
Now you just had an opportunity to meet with our president, Dr. Marlene Wall, and I would actually like to share an interesting fact about her with you, our dear viewers online, and Suliko. Did you know that one of Marlene's biggest passions and hobbies is actually photography? She has over 100,000 photos in her camera roll, and she showed us the number. It's huge.
Including the selfies with all the students, I assume.
Yes.
She's super friendly with all the students, and she likes to be friends with them, which is something we all know, and we all have experienced that. It was a really great insight from her about the university, but I'm also sure that many of our viewers are interested in application processes and what it actually takes to become a student at LCC.
So now I would like to introduce you to the person who can help you with that and answer all of your questions, and she for sure helped me answer mine. Here is Rebecca Majitova, our admissions counselors. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello, Sofia and Sudeko, and all our viewers online. Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to share about LCC, I guess from admissions perspective. I'm part of the admissions team. So my all work is surrounded around you guys watching us online, prospective students who would like to be part of LCC. Okay, so as you will see the slides on your screen, I would kindly remind you to keep going with your questions on our YouTube chat, comments, but also on Slido. I do have my colleagues online who will try to answer live in the comments already, but if it's a more extended answer, we will address them at the end of the event. Okay, so to start off with my presentation, our slogan, as we call it, international community which strives to do more. And I will mention quickly the educational model that we provide here at LCC, one of them being North American Style University. So most of the universities that you can think of in United States and Canada, they do provide very similar education like we do at LCC. We are also a liberal arts university. I'm not sure if you are familiar with this term, but it means broad-based education. Of course, we do have majors and programs for you to choose, but later on during junior and senior year, you are free to add courses from other programs as well. So it's a little bit more interesting. But as Marlene was mentioning, we try to help our students to develop soft skills as well, to help them then later on to enter into adulthood life, into working market as well. And we believe those skills are very helpful. We're also international. We have students from more than 65 different countries. That's a quite diverse community for fairly small university like LCC. We are only about 700 to 800 students. We are also a Christian university. That means that we follow the Christian values and worldview. However, being international university, anyone is welcome. We do have, students from various religious backgrounds who do enjoy the community here and education as well. And the last points are one of the I guess the ones that I like the most is relational aspect. This is not going to be just an educational institution. You will build and grow your relationship with students from other countries, with your professors and staff as well, and everybody here is willing and eager to help you, not only academically, but also with life in general. We do have counselors available, but also just any person on campus, if you would like to share and to talk about things, they're always there. And also important information from, I guess, academic perspective, our diploma is accredited in European Union. That means that you can use this diploma anywhere in the world after graduation. If you want to go back to your home country, stay in Europe, go to Australia, China, US, whatever your heart would like. All right, I think it's time to mention what do we give you and what we can offer you actually. So there are 2 degrees that we provide. Bachelor programs, and we have 6 of those: International Business Administration, International Relations and Development, Contemporary Communications, English Language and Literature, Psychology, and Theology. All of them are full-time BA programs, 4 years of studies, and I will tell you a little bit more in a second how to apply for it. We also provide master's programs. So once you get your BA, the next step would be master's, and we have 2 programs: International Management and TESOL, which is Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Both of them are 2 years of studies, distance online learning. These programs are created for those who are already working professionals and would like to increase and develop their skills. Okay, so we provide full student campus, as you have seen at the video earlier. I hope that gave you a bit, a clear picture of how LCC looks like. So fully residential campus is only at LCC in this region. Everything is within the walking distance, 1 or 2 minutes of walking, dorms, sports facilities, and academic building as well. Student life, as I mentioned earlier as well, and Marlene, we focus on outside of the classroom activities and extracurricular activities a lot for our students. Thus, there is a whole department that is called Student Life, and there are some amazing staff and faculty members who basically try to create as many opportunities as possible. So there are more than 20 clubs available. They're all created and run by LCC students. We also have internship programs, some leadership programs as well. And those would be more of a job positions, I guess, on campus, but students get leadership training, and there is a very thorough selection process and interview process as well for those. And obviously, having sports teams and student body, diverse like at LCC, there are various annual events that we host on campus. Okay, so we also provide exchange programs, and there are 2 types of them. International exchange with 5 countries, you can see them on your screen, and Erasmus+. Those would be for European universities. And depending on your major and which year you are studying at LCC, you will be able to apply for certain country or certain university. We believe that a lot of our students want, and they are already doing, investing in their own education. Thus, we would like to provide them with some support, as much as we can. Work and career at LCC, there's on campus available as a reception, helping professors of different departments, working at the library, and etc. And of course, located in Lithuania, in Klaipėda city, there are opportunities off campus as well to work. However, there are certain details that go into off-campus work, which if you have questions, email us or we can address them at the end of the event. Also important to mention, Work and Travel United States program, because summertime at LCC is given for 4 months. So from beginning of May all the way till September, there are no classes. And it is time given if you would like to rest, but also a lot of our students, they go to United States to travel and also work. And that way they're able to pay their tuition, help their parents, yeah, and I think it's a great opportunity. I studied at LCC as well, graduated a few years ago. I've done work and travel program myself. It's a great opportunity to see new country, new places, meet people, but at the same time to invest in your education. Okay, so now we're getting into very important information. If you're planning to apply for studies at LCC, BA application deadlines. So the deadlines are for two intakes. We accept students for fall. Your studies would start from September, and for spring, for January. Right now, the fall intake is open. The early deadline is February 15th. That means that you only have about 2.5 weeks left to apply. If you want to take a break and after your high school and apply for spring semester, you're more than welcome to, and the deadline would be the last November 15th. For masters as well, there's only one intake for masters, and the deadlines are May 15th. Your studies would start in August. And they're trimesters, and because they're online, there will be only one time a year for you to travel to campus. Okay, so we can now move on specifics of what is required from you to apply for studies here. It's fairly easy. You go to lcc.lt website, you fill out an online application, create your own page, and attach electronic versions of the following documents. English proficiency test results, you can see them on your screen. You don't have to have them all, just one will be enough. And by each test, you can see the minimum requirement as well. So these requirements are for bachelor studies. We need your high school transcripts if you haven't finished your high school yet. If you are already a graduate, then we need you to see your high school diploma and final transcripts. Once you provide all of those documents, the next step will be an interview with admissions committee. And it's not a test. We just want to get to know you better as an applicant. So don't be alarmed by an interview. Depending from which country you are from and what kind of high school education you have received, there might be some extra requirements, country-specific or school-specific. Those, unfortunately, we can tell you only when you provide your documents. But application is free until February 15. So I think now it's your time to apply. Later on, there will be a small fee, but I think it's a great chance for you to just try yourself and see, if you get accepted or not. And I mean, that's main information from me. Of course, there are more details, and more information that we want to give you. Feel free to email us. We also do online consultations if you want to see us live like this. You can see the QR code on your screen, the email and the website as well. We're always happy to address your concerns and questions. And that is it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca, for such a comprehensive presentation and such great insight of the application processes. So I remember when I was applying to LCC, I was a prospective student back then. I had tons of questions that needed to be addressed, and I would like to let you know that there's no such thing as a silly question. There's no such thing as a wrong question. So keep them flowing through the chat, through YouTube comment section, email our counselors. We are more than happy to answer all of your questions about all the details of the application processes or scholarship opportunities or etc.
I believe in the saying that it is important to see it once. It is better to see it once than to hear it 1,000 times. So now I think it is time for us to take you on a virtual tour with and on our campus.
Welcome to LCC International University. This is the main building of LCC, the D4 Center. First thing you'll find here is the front desk, where you can always ask for help. You can ask directions to your classroom, order new key cards if you lost yours, or just ask any additional information that you're interested in, because the staff here is super friendly. Oh, hey!
Hey guys!
Almost all academic facilities are in this building. One of the most important ones is the Student Success Center. LCC students are never on their own when facing their challenges. Staff is here and will help you get integrated into university's life through freshman orientation, first-year seminar, and there's also individual academic support and tutoring available here as well.
Let's check out the professors. Yeah. Hello. Can we come in?
Around the Student Success Center are professors' offices. At LCC, it's quite unique in how much access students have to our professors compared to many other universities. Professors meet with their students regularly to discuss assignments and materials. To best help you thrive academically, professors need to get to know you, and you will get to know them as well. Most of the building is, of course, the classroom. Here's Kameskine Hall, one of the largest ones that we have. Here, 50 students can simply fit, but the average amount of the students in the classroom is 25. This is the Student Council office. If you want to be involved in the student community, start a club, or organize an event, or just be as engaged as you can be, the Student Council is the perfect place for you. There's actually a lot more to our university and campus, but thanks for joining to this little tour. It was really nice. Super excited to see you, so come visit us. Bye.
When I considered applying to LCC, the financial factor was obviously very, very important. But luckily, LCC is quite affordable and it offers lots of financial aid. And today, with us, we have the Student Financial Services Director, Gintari Maturite, who is going to share with us in detail on how to make education and your experience at LCC International University possible. Hi, Gintari.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to join you today. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit kind of, I'm scared in front of the cameras, but I'm also very eager to share more about the tuition fees and financial aid opportunities at LCC. And also would like to encourage our viewers to ask questions on YouTube or on Slido as well, all the questions related to the finances.
Yeah, cool. So I believe students are eager to hear about scholarship opportunities. And when I usually talk to students, my friends about LCC, I share about the experiences, everything. They're so amazed and surprised, and they all want to come. But whenever I mention it's a private university, they usually become very sad and think that it's expensive, it's not affordable. But actually, a lot of our students receive some sort of financial scholarships and financial aids. So if you could give us an insight of what kind of opportunities are there for students to finance their studies.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, let's start first with the tuition fees, right? Because LCC is a private university, but the tuition fees are kind of affordable. So let's say the tuition fee for 2023-2024 academic year is 3,690 euros. And this is based on the 60 ECTS credits, which is actually a regular or full-time student load. Now, we're definitely going to have students that will join LCC and start their studies with a prerequisite intensive module in English, also known as a PRIME program. So the price for this program is 1,845 euros, so actually half of the BA tuition fee. Now, talking about the housing fees, well, the housing fees vary. Let's say it depends on how many people live in the room, right? So it could be from 525 euros per semester, or it could be 675 euros per semester.
And if you could tell me about the deadlines more, what are the procedures for payment and what are the deadlines?
Sure. So students at LCC, they pay tuition and housing fees for each semester separately. And we always trying to keep the same deadlines. That will be easier for students to remember. So let's say for the fall semester, the full payment deadline is always August 20th. And then for the spring semester is always December 20th. Now, if our students face some financial difficulties paying a full semester's tuition at once, students able to apply for the payment option, and it allows to divide tuition and housing fees into 3 equal parts, and then students able to pay in installments by the certain deadline. So let's say if we're talking about the fall semester, it's August 15, September 15, and October 15. If we talk about the spring semester, it's always December 15th, January 15, and February 15. It's easy to apply for the payment schedule. Students can find it on our website. If it's difficult to find it, please talk with your admissions counselor. They will be more than happy to guide you through the process.
And Gintare, you just mentioned the tuition fees and the housing fees. But what are some other maybe payments or something else that students should consider before planning to come to Lithuania?
Some other expenses apart from housing and tuition.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually a very good question, because often students consider tuition and housing costs only, but we always advise them to also budget for the living expenses. It's difficult to give you the exact amount, how much money you would need, let's say each month, right, for the food, for the healthcare, hygiene, right, or for the local transportation, right? Because it depends. It depends on every student's priorities and also willingness to follow, let's say, the given budget. And then after talking with our current students, we could say that, let's say the average would be around 250 euros a month. But again, it varies, right? And then also for the international students, I would also advise to think about other expenses such as applying for student visa, right? Insurance, and then TRP, which is also known as temporary permit residence card, right? And also travel tickets to Lithuania and maybe back home. So that students also have to consider these expenses as well.
Yes, and now that we already have an insight of what specific numbers we're dealing with, maybe we could already start talking about the financial aid that LCC also provides.
Yeah, so even though LCC is a private university and students have to pay a certain tuition fee, we kind of believe that education is an investment, and we wanted to support our students when they contribute towards education by providing financial aid. The financial aid philosophy at LCC is to make it possible to every student attend LCC, regardless the family's financial circumstances. In around 60% of our students, they receive some type of the financial aid. And it's also important to mention that for the past couple of years, we've been distributing over 200,000 euros for the prospective students' financial aid. So we do have opportunities, just students have to use them and apply on time. And then talking about the financial aid at LCC, so we have 3 types. Need-based aid, which is primarily based on documented financial need. And then we also have merit-based scholarships that these are awarded or given, let's say, based on students' academic achievements and also leadership potential and experience. And then other type of scholarships. So not all students have necessarily be kind of straight A students. So we provide other opportunities. Talking about the need-based aid, well, we have also 3 types of those. And the reason why we have 3 types is because only certain countries are eligible to apply for the specific type. The eligibility is based on, let's say, countries' GDP per capita and also LCC priority markets. So the list of all eligible countries can be easily found on our website, and then also on the application forms. Again, if it's difficult for you to find those, talk with your admissions counselors. They will definitely will help you out and guide you through the process.
Thank you so much. So what is the maximum percentage that students can get from need-based aid?
Yeah, the need-based aid ranges from 10% up to 90% tuition discount. The maximum percentage that the student can get from from the financial aid, let's say from the need-based aid, right, has a predefined limits based on university year. So let's say a freshman able to receive up to 90% tuition discount, a sophomore up to 80% tuition discount, and then junior and senior up to 60% tuition discount. But just don't forget that, not all freshmen receive, let's say, the maximum, or not junior receive the maximum, because, well, again, it depends on individual students' situation.
And I'm sure our viewers online are wondering right now, when do students apply for need-based aid? Could you please tell us?
Of course. Students actually must reapply almost every year for the need-based aid, and they have to do this in the following years of the study. So, for example, prospective students, they have to apply prior their freshman year. Freshman students apply prior the sophomore year, and then sophomore students apply prior the junior and senior years of studies combined. The application process for the need-based aid for the prospective students have already started. The early application deadline is February 15th, and the late one is May 15th. So don't waste any longer. And if you feel that you might be, the need-based aid might be a good option for you, please start working on your applications.
And about the application process specifically, how difficult is it to go through the application and complete it?
It's not difficult, but it might take some time to gather the documents from the specific institutions, right? So we always advise students to kind of start working on those as early as possible. And even though, at the time of the filling out the application form, if you believe that we don't have certain documents, or you're not sure what kind of documents you have to submit, just basically fill out the application form, provide us with the all detailed information, and then we're definitely gonna do a follow-up with you, and we'll tell you what kind of information is missing or what kind of documents you still need to provide.
And you mentioned about need-based aids before, but you also said that you have other types of scholarships and merit-based scholarships. What are those? How can you get them?
Yeah, so merit-based scholarship, basically we give those based on students' academic achievements and leadership experience or potential, let's say. So students have to be kind of academically strong students. We provide scholarships for both for prospective students and for the current students. But right now, let's focus on the ones that our viewers would be kind of able to apply. Right now, let's say prospective students able to apply for, let's say, up to 17 places where they could get 100% tuition discount for the first year of the studies. So we have different scholar awards, let's say Ukraine Scholar Award, right, for Ukrainian students. We have Caucasus Scholar Award for students coming from Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, other countries, also International Scholar Award, also from students coming from other Eastern European countries, and then New Market Scholarships for Lithuanians, Latvians, for students from Indonesia, Mongolia, and also China. And then we also have LCC Leadership Scholarship that covers 50% tuition discount, but also 2 students able to receive that. So again, there is a separate application form in the process. Just be in contact with your admissions counselor, and they will definitely guide you through the process. And then also we have other type of scholarships. As I mentioned, again, you not necessarily have to be a straight A student. We offer a basketball scholarship. So let's say if our students play basketball professionally, right, they have a chance to receive up to 90% tuition and a housing discount. And then also we have sibling grants. So we have siblings studying together at LCC, and we are very happy and proud about that. But we also understand that it might be challenging to study together at university at the same time in terms of the finances, right? So we do want to support our students by providing a sibling grant, and they're able to receive, let's say, from 10 up to 40% tuition discount, depending depending on when they start the studies. Are they starting the studies in different years or simultaneously at the same time? And then, as I mentioned before, we do provide scholarships not just only for the prospective students, but for the current students as well, because we want to help them to contribute towards their education. And we have over 12 different scholarships that may cover from 10 up to 100% tuition and housing discounts. So all in all, we believe that education is an investment in one's future, and we really hope that you're convinced that LCC is worth it. So that's why we kind of partner with you and your families to make it possible.
Thank you, Gintara, so much. I'm sure it was very helpful for prospective students. And if you have any more questions and further questions about financial services, you can keep them flowing in our chats. Slido as well. Gintara will be with us throughout the whole session in case we need her help to answer some of those. So yeah.
Speaking of which, if you guys are planning on applying to LCC International University, don't forget that the deadline is coming up. It's on February 15th, which is our early application deadline. So don't miss the date.
Yep, that's pretty soon, so don't lose any time.
Yeah. When I was applying to LCC, I obviously really valued the opinions of people and the feedback of the people who studied here. And I would like to ask you, Suliko, why did you choose to apply to LCC? How did you end up here?
Well, there are many reasons. There are many reasons why I like this university, but I think the first thing that pops up in my head right now would be the international community, obviously. This is what we stand for. It might sound like a cliche, but it really is a great thing, especially for me as an international relations student, because I get to meet people from all around the globe, make friends with them, make connections, which will be also very helpful for me in the future perspective and my career in the future after I graduate. And another big thing that I valued was active student life beyond classrooms. I used to be a very active high school student, and we had this very active student body during high school, and I wanted to keep it that way. I wanted to stay active beyond classroom because obviously academic aspect is very crucial and very important, and LCC has been doing a great job ensuring high quality education, but it also pays a lot of attention to clubs, different. For example, I study international relations, but I've also learned about journalism. I've written journalistic articles through our university newspaper club, and I also get to do some sports with the sports club. So you get this very active student life, which means that LCC does not only give you a diploma, but it also gives you this great chance to enhance your soft skills that make you marketable in the long term. All in one place, on one campus.
That's really cool. And you mentioned about sports club. What sports do you do at
So
the
we
campus?
have a volleyball club that I've actually managed to stay quite consistent, and I'm very impressed by myself. We have tons of students playing basketball, and we also have tournaments and competitions between different universities, which is a lot of fun. We also attend those events to root for our university team. It's a great fun.
Yeah, and I actually also participated in the volleyball club last semester. But yeah, now I decided I'm also part of the football team now, actually. So I switched from volleyball to football because I do want to stay active, yeah.
Yeah, you do get to try all sorts of things at LCC, and we have different students of different interests. And if you find that maybe whatever you're interested in is not available yet in our list of different clubs, you can obviously start your own, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. And we actually, I don't know if you remember, we have this year and last semester also somebody opened like a hobby making club, which is basically you can make little ships out of things. We had a book club, we have yearbook club, we have a dance club. We actually have 2 dance clubs this semester, one for hip hop and one for just general dancing. And I'm actually thinking of joining it.
I don't think we have enough time to mention all of those because there's tons, and we obviously don't have the whole day to talk about them. But yeah, we have a lot of great opportunities for you to keep yourself engaged, keep your hands full at the university, in a very productive way.
That's true. And I also think that when you come to university, you begin to realize that it's those opportunities, and you have the choice to seek those opportunities. And if there are none, you can even create your own opportunities. I mean, like you mentioned with the clubs. And that's what I truly appreciate about this university.
Yeah, exactly. And we also actually have some friends with us who would like to share their stories about what they like about LCC. Why did they apply? What was so interesting about the university that encouraged them to come to us?
And we would like to welcome our first LCC student, who is Oscar Ablaya from Kazakhstan. Hi, Oscar.
All right. Thank you, Sophia. Hello, our viewers. My name is Oscar, and I'm currently a freshman student in my second semester. And speaking of my LCC experience, I would like to describe the first 3 days at LCC. They're held in August, and they're called Student Orientation. Well, you might be wondering, what is it? Okay, so transitioning from your home country to Lithuania, at the other part of the world, and an unknown university is scary. Trust me, I've went through all the worries and anxiety. It's not worth it. So, student orientation makes your transition as smooth as possible. You remember it, guys? Yeah. So, day 1, we all went to the beach.
And it's also very important to mention
Yes.
that LCC campus is in a very great location, which is in a walking distance from the center of the town, the old town, and also the beach, which is quite amazing.
Good detail. So everything is nearby, everything is close. We gathered in groups, and we just went around the city. We visited some places, we ate some snacks, then we went to the beach. We met some beautiful sunsets, and we had a dinner at a cafe. Day 2, a lot of questions. Well, enough of rest, time to find out. And we were lectured about financial aid, about the overall academical structure, who to call in terms of problems, who to advise, different counseling offices. It was all there. You carefully take notes, and you're less worried, and your parents are happy because they know that LCC has got your back. And day 3, I think you all guys remember how we sat in the lobby and we just played some games. That was fun, I'm not gonna lie. And that is the day when you probably make the most new friends. I probably met like 50 to 100 people. It was really tough remembering all those names. It was some kind of a challenge. So yeah, that was our student orientation.
And can you think of maybe any warm memory or story or an experience that you just cherish from the previous semester?
All right, there is actually one beautiful photo and a video in my gallery that tears me up every time. So again, on day 3, before the game in the lobby, we all just sat on the grass, just had a little picnic in front of a little stage where different people presented different speeches. And then one of the faculty played beautiful songs on his guitar. We sang along, and although I did not know any of those people yet, I felt the connection already. And whenever I look through my gallery, it's just
I think that's very important to emphasize how faculty and staff and the instructors and professors, their attitude and how they communicate with students. And it's actually at LCC, one of the things that we like to emphasize and that we're really proud of is small classrooms where professors get to answer all your questions. They know your names. Everybody's friends with you. You can go to their offices whenever you feel like you need some help with anything. The connection between staff and faculty and the fact that there's no barrier between students and people above how they perceive it at many other places and universities, it's, I think, quite special about LCC.
Yeah, and once you guys come to LCC, one of the most that you will hear most often is actually the word community. Yeah, we always say that we're a very tight-knit community. And what you said about classrooms, small classrooms, and just, having these friendly relationships with professors and also other members of the faculty, that really makes you feel like at home, even though when you may be, thousands of kilometers away from your actual home.
Yes. And the last words that I would like to mention is to even further prove that LCC is awesome. I'm not afraid of that. I would describe it as an ecosystem. Let's be a little poetic, guys. Stay tuned. So it is really an ecosystem where opportunities, progress, different events, lectures are happening all the time. Life is boiling and thriving here. There's always something happening every day. Weeks stretch into months, days stretch into weeks. There's so much life condensed into this little community. And one more thing, LCC cares about you. Remember that.
We do get a lot of individual attention, and we also have a lot of departments that actually work on your personal development. And we also have a career development center, which I adore. They help us find internships. They help us find different organizations where we can volunteer at. So it's not only about the studies. It's about the student life. It's about the opportunities that LCC gives you. It's about counseling services that are crucial to your personal and career development. Thank you for mentioning that, and thank you for sharing your insights about LCC.
Yeah. And maybe one last thing. Maybe could you give a word of advice to students who are students, especially online, who are planning to apply to LCC?
All right. I will give you an advice for the future. You will go through the application process. You'll get admitted. You'll come here and you'll probably see me around. Just say hi. And my advice is that once you come here, day one, do something. Go out there. Seize all the opportunities that you like. Balance your life, learn to cook, learn to communicate with different cultures, begin learning a new language, plan to get a job. Do not just stay there. And it will pay off instantly. You will see how you are changing. And probably in 6 months or in a year, you'll come back very much new. So that's it from me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Oscar, for sharing your experience with us.
And also we have another guest from our university who's also a student. And before we talk to her, I would like to remind our viewers that keep your questions flowing, keep them coming. We're going to be addressing them by the end of the session. So, yes, our next guest is Yulia, a sophomore at our university. Thank you, Yulia, for coming here and being with us. What was the thing about LCC that you liked the most?
Okay, so you already know about the diverse student life at LCC, and my part is going to be a little bit boring because I'm actually going to talk about studying.
But that's a very important aspect.
Yeah, that's a really important
boring
aspect.
Is not the word.
Because LCC provides really good education, and I have experience of studying at university in my home country, Ukraine. And I see the difference, and I can tell that the difference is tremendous. So, the studying process here is aimed for you to understand the material, not just to learn it and then forget. And also instructors that are like teachers, professors, they also are doing really great job. And if you don't understand something, like you are free to ask questions and they will definitely be answered. And I guess the motto of all of our instructors is like, the bad question is the one that wasn't asked. So, also, if you have some troubles with studying, there is Student Success Center where you can enroll for tutoring. Also, if you have troubles with writing essays or with math, it's always opened for you, and it's for free. The thing that impressed me. Also, like, I guess I can talk about library, which is one of my most favorite places at LCC. It's very huge. It has a lot of new books, a lot of, I don't know, dictionaries, fiction books, non-fiction, and it's really sweet to spend your time there to study or just to...
Can I mention the skylight that we have in the library? It just
Yeah.
makes the whole
Yeah,
environment
sure.
so cozy and I feel very productive in there.
And when you first came here to Lithuania and to the LCC campus, what was the thing that maybe pleasantly surprised you, or something that was new here that you haven't experienced before?
Okay, so I had kind of small cultural shock about the community, about the I guess the university system itself, because it's very different from what I was used to, and people here are, I guess, we're all similar at some point of view. We're all very different, but we're also very similar. We have the same, I don't know, problems. We share the same experience about studying, about living in dorms. And well, it was very surprising when I was talking to one of my roommates, and I was telling about my experience, maybe some issues, and she was telling me that she has actually the same. And then you understand that people here are very compassionate. They are always ready to help you, and that was the thing that really impressed me.
So basically, we can be all very different and we can be diverse, but we always have so much in common. We just have to, dig a little bit deeper to look for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, one more question I wanted to ask you that I asked Oscar before. What is your most cherished memory so far at LCC?
Maybe some sort of event that you attended,
Yeah.
so that we could...
Yeah, okay, so I live in dorms, and every other Wednesday we have an event that calls Bring Your Own Story, where students can share their life stories, and it's actually always, it was always touching. And it's a great event to to know your floor mates better, also your professors, because we also sometimes invite our professors to share their stories. And I guess the warmest memory is that every floor has its supervisor, which called resident assistant, and our array, shortened form for a resident assistant, always came out on the event with some song, and my most favorite one was about Pizza Man. It's the moment when we all sing together with the whole floor. Everyone enjoys it, and when I understood it hit me hard, and actually was. Yeah, it was very touching and fun memory as well.
Yeah, those kind of events really make it easy for you to adapt to this new environment and help you ease into the community. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
So I hope you have your questions ready. Please submit them through the QR of Slido, and also keep them flowing in the YouTube comment section. And Rebecca is back with us to address some of those questions for you.
Yes, hi again. I just want to say quickly before jumping into questions, thank you so much for sharing your stories. It's always amazing to see our current students, having and creating those memories and friendships. And as a graduate who has finished studies at LCC, quite a few years ago, I can say that those memories and connections and relationships that we create on campus, they do stay after graduation as well. I have a lot of friends from different countries. We still stay in touch. I came to study at LCC when I was 16, far away from my home country, being alone, first time traveling abroad. It was difficult, and there are I know their names and last names, of students and also staff and faculty who helped me not only with studies. They were there for me. They became sort of a family members and home, far from home. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I will quickly remind you about Slido, that you can still type in your questions and send those our way. We will be happy to answer them. In case something will come up later on, you will remember your question, or if you're a family member, I'm sure your parents are curious about where you want to study as well. If they have questions, please feel free to connect with us via email or phone as well. We're happy to hear your voices and talk to you. But we are also quite active on social media: Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you find us. I'm just going to quickly open from my phone Slido, and my colleagues here will also help me to address them.
And maybe while we take 1 or 2 minutes to wait for the people to write their questions, I wanted to mention...
We have tons already.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that actually Rebecca was my admissions counselor, and one question that I asked her during my interview when applying to LCC was, what do you adore most, or what is your favorite memory from LCC? And you told me, I think it was you that told me, that your favorite memory was when you had dinner very late at night in the kitchen, and random people would just come in, but then you would have such deep, such philosophical conversations. And I just wanted to say that you were right. Because when I came to LCC, like maybe on the first or on the second day, this is exactly what happened. I just ended up eating dinner, but then someone came in and we just started chatting about food, and then we just ended up talking about life, and it was so amazing.
Yes, exactly. Those are the times that we remember and connect, I guess, with each other the most as students as well. And, living in the dorm and having students from so many different countries, and, when we place, we meaning, as an LCC university, when we place students and especially freshmen in the dorms, we try to make it as diverse as possible. Of course, you will have a chance, if you already know someone, maybe to choose to live with them. But that's when the first day you arrive, you get to know your roommates. Those are the most memorable times.
So one of the first questions that popped up on my screen is, what are some features or benefits of living in Lithuania? What are things we can look forward to in the country? The first word is green. It's very green. There are forests everywhere. In just 2 minutes by walk, you have this whole forest where I once spotted a deer.
Yes, I did as well, actually, during my studies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super green. Like, what are the other things that they should look forward to here?
I would say clean.
Yes.
Pollution-wise, I come from a capital city in Central Asia, and to be honest, for Klaipėda to be located by the sea, air here is really clean, and I think and we're also, it's like within the walking distance from Baltic Sea, our campus. So I think that's what I would want.
And maybe I would also mention the short rides on the train, because it literally takes you like 2 or 3 hours to get to a different city in Lithuania, explore it. You could go to one of the most famous touristic attractions, which is the Trakai, the castle there. And it literally takes you just 4 hours by the train. You can go, at 5 in the morning, and at 11 or 12, you're already there, which is so cool.
Exactly. I hope we answered your question. If your question meant you meant something else, if we didn't manage to answer your question, you can obviously be a bit more specific about what you're interested in, and then we can address it again.
Another question that we had, and Rebecca, it's more on the admission side. Can
you apply to multiple scholarships?
Yeah.
Is one of the questions.
Yes, you can. That's a short answer. A little bit longer answer will be, you can apply for both types of financial aid, which my colleague Kintara mentioned earlier, need-based aid and merit-based scholarships. You can apply for both. to see, if you have a chance to get one or another. However, at the end, you will have to choose whichever gives you the higher discount. That will be, the one that you get. But of course, we do not restrict you. If you're eligible to apply for scholarships, there are requirements as well. You're more than welcome to try.
And there's also another question. Is it hard to enter and study in LCC? I think we're a very welcoming community, which is something that we're very proud of. The most important aspect that maybe I would pay attention to is the competition for scholarships and tuition. Obviously, we have a lot of amounts that we use to help our students make their LCC experience possible, but maybe competition for those scholarships would be something that I would pay attention to. But we are a very welcoming community, and I wouldn't say it was hard for me to apply to LCC and get into the university. The interview process, the counselors, they do their best to make the whole experience as less stressful as possible. So you're good.
I would also actually add that I think it depends on what major you are, because if you're studying psychology, there would be more scientific terms. So you also have to consider where your interests lie. For example, if you're communications or IRD like Suliko and I, you would have more of public speaking and debating. And if you're English and literature, obviously, you would have lots of writing and reading. So I guess it really depends on your interests and, what you prefer and what major you are.
And academic-wise, whatever skills you need for specific classes, it also doesn't really matter at what level you are. Professors always are there to help and you improve and enhance your skills, whether it will be writing or doing tons of readings, which you sometimes have to do. Obviously, this is a university life. It's not a university life, but if you find that things are a bit challenging for you, professors do their best to help you succeed and get and achieve your goals in classes.
Yes, that's right. And actually, I just realized it's funny coincidence. We're all IRD majors. Current IRD majors. I am former, which is International Relations and Development Program at LCC. Well, to enter into LCC, I would not call it that it's difficult. Of course, there is a selection process, and we have created those requirements, which I've mentioned during my presentation. But for us, it's also important the motivation, why you want to study. The grades, during your high school, they do play a big role. But for us, it's more important, what are your plans, why you want to be at LCC. So please do explore, those other universities as well. We say LCC is not for everyone, but you're more than free to try and apply. I just wanted to quickly add to that, studying at LCC with the system that we provide, students are able to build their knowledge and their grades throughout the semester. So it's not like if you fail one test or one exam, that's it. You will be dismissed from university, or you will fail a class. That's not true. So I think our, from academic perspective, our staff and faculty, professors, they try to do their best to provide as much of a support as they can for those who are struggling.
Exactly. And you mentioned the grades, and there's also one specific question that is asking, what are the minimum school scores for being accepted? And I think they mean, what are the requirements? What is the barrier that they have to...
Like the national exams, probably,
or
something.
I think it means high school grades.
Yeah, I'm guessing they mean the high school grades, school scores. So we... I don't want to say a certain score so that everyone, will stress out and try to get that. The decision to accept a student or not depends from various things. That's why there's a list of requirements. Your English level, plays a role as well. Interview and school scores too. Of course, the higher your score is, the better, because we calculate admission score. So your final score consists of your high school documents, which is your high school grades, your English proficiency test results, and interview score. So these three parts are calculated, and then we come up with admission score. That score is very important when you apply for scholarships. That's why I say, you know, the higher your grades, the better. But we've had students who had very low grades as well. But, you know, with the motivation, we might see that there may be another interviews needed, talk with the family, you know, meet with parents. If your grades are not good, I still highly encourage you to apply and try.
Another question that we have is it possible to do double majors such as psychology and international relations?
That's a very good question. Unfortunately, we don't have double majors at the moment. We have major and minor system and elective system. So let's say you chose international business administration to study, you can choose another major as a minor. So it's not going to be two majors at the same level, but rather you will be able to take courses from, you know, that minor major that you have chosen, and your diploma will state so as well, that your major is this and this, and your minor will be added too. And speaking of electives, as I was mentioning, you know, being liberal arts university, our academics are built from core curriculum and within the major and then electives. To take my example, for example, when I studied international relations, but I was able to take courses from business, from psychology, from contemporary communications, and from theology as well. So after graduation, it just gives me more opportunities and to fill yourself in different areas and what you like.
Yes, can the students apply to financial aid and scholarship before getting admissions or offer letter?
Okay, I will answer that question again. Most of them, I guess, they're related, you know, with applying to studies. Yes, so you can apply for financial aid already or simultaneously to your admissions process. So as soon as you apply, you will be sent instructions and directions how to apply for financial aid, for need-based aid, but you will not be able to get the decision because your need-based aid and scholarship decisions would require your admission score to be available already. So yes, you can apply at the same time, but you will need to get admitted first to get your financial aid decision, if that makes sense.
Is it required to provide recommendation and motivational letters when you're applying?
No, it's not required, but if you have them, that will be a plus. Of course, we want to know more about you and what you've done, not only in terms of academics, but also as an extracurricular activity.
Yeah, it is advised, and it will definitely help us get a better idea of your academic or other sorts of performances that would make the decision more accurate. I'm still in my last year of school. Can I apply already now, and what documents are needed? It's a perfect time and it's a high time for you to apply. And we already mentioned some deadlines, which you can also have a look at on our website. Get in touch with our admissions office. They will do their best to help you with the documents, and they will also send you a list of required documents that are needed. And
remember, February 15th is the early application deadline, so do not miss the date. And the person who wrote this question, if you have the opportunity, you should definitely try and apply to LCC.
Rebecca, there was also one of the questions asking about the differences between early admissions and late submission of the applications. What are the differences?
Yes, that's a very good question. So the early application deadline, one, it gives you an opportunity to not pay for the application. So it is free, you don't have to pay for it. But also, the earlier you apply, the better. So for example, I still remember when Sophia applied and working with her application, it was, I believe, around April or May. So it was towards the end of the deadline. so then it's a heated time when everyone is applying, so you know it might take a little bit longer to, I guess, be in touch all the time. And also you're already stressing out and it's like time is running out, I don't know where I'm accepted. So if you apply now, even before finishing your school, you can already get accepted to a university and you can forget about it, calm down and you know where you're going. But also it kind of gives a bit more opportunity to apply for financial aid early as well, as I'm sure Kintaro was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, and I did apply very late. I think I applied like 1 or 2 days before the final deadline.
And the earlier you apply, the more chances you have of getting a scholarship, if that's correct.
That's true. But still, I remember that it took maybe about 3 to 4 weeks to get my decision whether or not I was accepted. And I would say that that is pretty fast. Yeah. Another question that we did have is
Thanks
actually
to the efficiency of our admission counselors.
Actually, yeah, before we jump into the next question, I want to mention about the decision as well. So once you apply for studies at LCC, you get admissions decision within 10 working days after your application is complete. Complete meaning all of your documents are there, good quality, in color, you've done the interview, everything is provided, then it's within 10 days, which is, I think it's quite fast.
Yeah. A question that was asked, is it easy when you are 28 years old to have a visa for a bachelor's degree, to study bachelor's at LCC in Lithuania?
That's a good question. And that's quite specific with age and migration related. As admissions counselor, we do guide and help our students, prospective students, through the visa process as well. So I can tell from my perspective that, there is no answer to that. It depends from your country. It depends which embassy or the visa center you're applying at. And we provide from our side all of the required documents, your acceptance letters, and we get in touch with the visa center or the embassy to let them know that this and this student is coming. However, it all depends on them, from migration people, if they make the decision to give you visa or not. From my experience, the age doesn't really play a negative role. We do have older applicants and students studying at LCC. So I don't think it's difficult. I'm not sure if I would call it easy though.
Okay, great. I think those are the main questions that have not been addressed by our colleagues working in the background remotely. We have more questions coming in. What if I'm not sure whether to apply? Is LCC the right choice for my life? Just need some support. If you need some support, we're all here for you. Regarding the question if LCC is the right choice for you, as Rebecca already mentioned, the main thing about the admissions process, whether it's hard or not to get into the LCC, what we pay attention the most if LCC is really the right choice for you and right fit for you. I think that's what they pay the most attention to. Yeah, you can basically see everything about the university. We are doing our best to describe the student life as well as the academic aspect of our lives. And it's actually really up to you to decide whether you would like to join us.
And listen, we know how hard it is because we understand that as you're finishing school, you're about to make a very important decision that would impact not only, the 4 years of your life, but depending on your major, it may impact your whole life. So we were there, we were in your place, all three of us. But if you have any questions, it's always better to email or maybe set up an online appointment with the admissions counselors so you better understand how the campus works or what exactly life in LCC is like. So hopefully you will have some better idea of whether or not LCC is the right path for you.
And we also have open days where students get to come to our university and see around, attend some classes, talk to the professor, talk to students. And those open days yeah, this is an online one, but we also have in-person open days, and you can obviously get in touch with our admissions counselors and book a visit with them. They can show you around the campus. You can see the sports center that we have, and as we already mentioned, our campus is quite modern and a great place to study. It's a fully equipped campus with cafeteria, everything you need in just one place. You can see around, talk to the professors, talk to students during our open day events.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly mention a few points about LCC that might be helpful for you to decide if it's a good place for you or not. That we are quite small university. There are a few hundred students, around 700 students and staff and faculty as well. So, and classrooms are small, meaning that people will know you, how you look like, your name as well. If you are dreaming of going to a big university where they have 10,000 and even more students, and you will just listen to the lecture, do your homework, and be done with it, I don't think LCC will be a good place for you. If you want home feeling, if you want to have a voice and that professors would know you and be interested not only in your knowledge but in your history, in your life and family as well, I think this is the good place.
Another question.
Oh, go ahead.
Another question that we had is, how intensive is the schedule at LCC, and will I be able to combine work and studies? So I think it's a question for all of us, because all of us studied and now you work there.
I think LCC course schedule, it's quite flexible because we're a liberal arts university. Not only do you get to get some expertise and education in the field that you choose in the beginning, but you can also pick some classes and courses from other fields as well. You have a great flexibility when it comes to creating your own schedule before the semester begins. So you can kind of work it out yourself with your advisor, who gives you maybe some pieces of advice on what courses to take, about your schedule, and etc. And speaking from our personal experiences, whether you can also work while you study, we have tons of students working part-time jobs, and we also have a lot of work opportunities that actually the university itself gives you information on. So it's quite possible to balance your work and academic life. And yeah.
Maybe to give you a better image, I will describe what my schedule at the moment looks like. So in LCC, if I'm not mistaken, you are allowed to take up to 36 credits per semester. So that means it's up to 6 courses a semester. For example, this semester I have 5 courses. So if you do the math, I have 3 hours of lectures per day. And that means that I have all the other 21 hours to my free time. And I actually do have free time to volunteer at the university. And I also have tutoring online. I tutor English online, so I find the time to do that. And actually, tutoring English online is a very good option for our students. Many of our students tutor remotely because it's a very great opportunity being at LCC and doing that. And it's also good money.
So yeah, that was all the questions that we had in our chat. So if you have any more, Rebecca, please.
Yes, just remembered one thing. Yeah, we don't have any more questions coming in. Again, a reminder, don't be shy, email us, call us. We'll be happy to answer your questions. But I just remembered one important information, having international prospective students watching this, that I forgot one important information during my presentation. So I think it's okay if I mention it now, about PRIME program. PRIME is a prerequisite intensive module of English, which is basically intensive English program on academic English. So in fact, I started from this program when I came to LCC. My English wasn't great for bachelor studies, thus I had to improve it a little bit. So you can still come to LCC, live in the dorm. You will get all the opportunities as any regular LCC student, but we just want to help you and ease your studies later on when you get into BA. So prime students get 50% tuition discount automatically. So it is cheaper. You do earn university credits as well. In my case, I did prime for 1 semester, and then I entered into BA later on. So I did study 4.5 years. But yeah, I think if your English is not at the level that is required for BA, don't get discouraged. Still apply.
When it comes to the time, we mentioned that our BA programs, they last for 4 years, and including the prime, you were studying for 4.5 years. But we have some students who prefer to take some courses in summer. And we also have some students who take more than 5 courses per semester. Therefore, you also have a chance, an opportunity to graduate early if you want. If you get enough credits throughout the semesters, and also if you take summer courses, you get to graduate in less than 4 years, which is very often 3.5 years, or even 3 years, if you can challenge yourself enough. So yeah, we have one more question to address in our chat, and if you have any questions that you would like to answer right now, please submit them through Slido or YouTube comment section, and we'll go ahead and address them then. But obviously, if you have any further questions after the session, you can contact our amazing people here at LCC.
Yeah, and just a reminder, no question is silly enough or bad enough. If you have something that you would really genuinely like to know, please just feel free to chat it and we will answer it. And here's actually one interesting question that I would like to read out loud. If you could pick one unique thing to highlight from LCC to convince someone to apply, what would it be?
There's so many things. I find it quite difficult.
It's hard to choose one thing, right?
Yes, exactly. But I think friends that I have found here, it's really amazing. Whenever I need to travel to some places by plane and I have big layovers like 16 hours or 18 hours, I'm pretty sure like in Riga, for example, or Berlin, I already have friends who I can hang out with during that time, which is so amazing. It's such a tiny little thing that LCC has given me, but it's super amazing. So wherever I do layover or wherever I want to travel, I know I'm very likely to have friends there, which is super amazing.
I think for me, it would be the freedom to create my own opportunities at LCC. I always felt, all throughout my life, I always seeked new challenges and, trying different courses and trying different clubs. And what I like about LCC is that it gives me to freedom and, the courage to do whatever I want, to challenge myself and to go out of my comfort zone. And even the professors are always supportive with that. Like, I can easily come into their office to ask them questions or just to chat with them. And it's great that I could receive their guidance and I could ask them how to, what things I could do to choose my career in the future or narrow my career path. I just really like that. And I guess it also, it's about you if you're ready to create your own opportunities. And if you're ready to work for what you want to do and for your passions, then you should definitely consider coming here.
Yeah, to summarize it, LCC gives you tons of freedom with your career and with your life. And then it also provides counseling services that will help you if you get lost in the whole process. There was one more question: if they should translate their high school transcripts into English language, and as far as I remember and as far as I'm concerned, all the documents need to be submitted either in English or Lithuanian. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. They have to be translated officially with a stamp and with a signature by the translation agency into English or Lithuanian, yes. And I can see Roman is asking, where and how can I translate my diploma and transcript? I believe, in all countries, most of the cities, they do have translation agencies, but it has to be official, not done by you, but by the agency. Roman is also asking, can I send my old documents in summer to study in August in 2023? I'm not sure, are you asking about MA or bachelor studies? For bachelor studies, they start in September. And the documents, as we mentioned, you should start applying now. There is one more question, actually, I can see it. Do you have English courses for those who doesn't know English well before to start college? Yeah, I'm guessing I've already answered that question.
Yes, we have a prime program where students get to enhance their English skills before they dive into the bachelor programs. And if you're, for example, in 10th grade or 11th grade and you're asking this question, we also have summer camps of English. LCC started as an English school years ago, and we still have English camps where you get to improve your English skills during the summer with native speakers and students of LCC who are already fluent in English and have expertise in teaching English as a second language. So you can use those opportunities if you are in 10th grade and 11th grade. Summer camps at LCC, are they in person or can they also?
In person, yeah. We don't have online summer camps, unfortunately, in person. But it's good you mentioned Summer Language Institute. SLI, that is in person, but that's the summer program that we help to get a visa as well. So international students can apply, and we do get from all different kind of countries.
Amazing.
And I would also like to add that if you feel like your English level is not enough, don't feel discouraged to apply to LCC because the Prime program provides a great academic foundation for your English. And the Prime program is actually always commented and complimented on how well the students know English and are able to write papers in English and also read scientific journals after having done the Prime program. So my point is, if you feel like your English level is not high enough, if you feel like you speak English not so well, don't be afraid.
And apart from the courses that you take to become more confident speaking in English, and actually in any other language, if you're not comfortable speaking in English or any other language, when you come to LCC, it's a completely fully English-speaking environment. Basically, you have classes in English, you communicate with your friends in English, and there's also a chance for you to improve your speaking skills in some other languages as well. That's how I learned my Spanish, and that's how I learned German, by practicing both of them with my friends from those countries at LCC. So if you really care about your language skills, LCC is also a good place for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say about languages, one thing that really surprised me is that I would learn so many different words in other languages.
Yes.
Like I just told previously to Suliko that now I know that the word for love in Georgian is sikharuli. Yeah?
That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can say thank you in Albanian, which is faleminderit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could also say haide, which is come here. And in Japanese, it's arigatou gozaimasu.
Yeah. Whenever I go to Albania, I can order fries in Albanian, and they would never know I'm not an Albanian.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We do have another question, quite very late. I will quickly address that. I'm going to read it. I passed I'm guessing that NMT is a national exam in summer. Can I apply all my documents to LCC in summer to study on bachelor program in 2023? Thank you for clarifying that question, Raman. You can apply in the summer if you want to, of course, but that will be close or maybe even after the late deadline. But as we mentioned earlier, you don't have to have your exams to apply for studies. You can apply now and then later on provide that exam and your high school diploma. So the answer is yes, you can, but we advise to apply now. And also I wanted to add more information to everyone who's watching. They are thinking if LCC is a good place, or maybe they're wondering about the English level, what kind of level do I need to study there? We will be having LCC Academy. It's a series of lectures for 3 weeks, twice a week, and they are all created and done by our professors. So those who are working at LCC and teaching our current students, those professors, they will create a lecture for high school students. If you're in the last 2 years, the registration will be open very soon. You can email us to let us know that you're expecting that registration. It will be from 14th of March, just for you to have that. It's a great opportunity to have a glimpse of LCC and what it's like to be one of our students studying here.
Rebecca, I wanted to ask you, because there's another question that we got on Slido. For people who don't have an embassy in their country, how can they give their documents, and where can they give their documents for a visa? How can they apply, basically, if they don't have an embassy or a visa center?
I think the easiest answer to that would be to go to a neighboring country or closest country that has an embassy of Lithuania in it.
Yes, that's correct. Usually with Lithuanian embassies, they have one for a certain region. However, now the applications go through a visa center, and I believe visa centers are available in most of the countries. You don't have to particularly look for Lithuanian visa center, because those centers, they operate and they provide services for several European countries. So if you have any kind of visa center in your city, in your country, I'm sure you will be able to ask them if they help Lithuania as well.
If I don't get needed level English in TOEFL test for the Middle East scholarship, can I have scholarship and come to LCC and improve my English skills? I'm from Iraq. So I think your English level, it mostly gets evaluated when we're looking through the application and while we are making the decision for the scholarship, not afterwards. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, I will quickly try to answer. It's difficult to say because it's specific to a certain scholarship. We would need to, take a look at your documents, consult with Student Financial Services, talk with the admissions director, because each case is different. And yes, that is a very specific question. I wouldn't be able to give you a one answer to that. It's better if you maybe send an email. We will consult with our colleagues from other departments and make sure to provide an answer. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Rebecca, so much. And thank you to all our friends from LCC and different offices for helping us address the questions from our dear viewers and prospective students. Thank you for your questions and your interest in LCC. And we are very much hoping to see you at our university in fall.
So, we really hope that you will take this opportunity to apply. Remember, the early application deadline is February 15th. I think I've said it probably a million times, but I just hope that you don't forget, and you don't forget to use this opportunity. Thank you once again, and we hope to see you next fall at LCC.
Have a good one.